This podcast is supported by MIDI Health. Are you in midlife, feeling dismissed, unheard, or just plain tired of the old healthcare system? You're not alone. For too long, women's serious midlife health issues have been trivialized, ignored, and met with a just deal with it attitude. Many of us have been made to feel ashamed or forgotten. In fact, even today, 75% of women seeking care for menopause and perimenopause issues are left entirely untreated. But here's the powerful truth. It's time for a change. It's time for MIDI. MIDI is not just a healthcare provider. It's a women's telehealth clinic founded and supported by world-class leaders in women's health. What sets MIDI apart? We are the only women's telehealth brand covered by major insurance companies, making high-quality, expert care accessible and affordable for all women everywhere. Our clinicians provide one-on-one, face-to-face consultations where they truly listen to your unique needs. We offer a full range of holistic, data-driven solutions, from hormonal therapies and weight loss protocols to lifestyle coaching and preventive health guidance. This isn't a one-size-fits-all care. This is care uniquely tailored for you. At MIDI, you will join our patients who feel seen, heard, and prioritized. You will find that our mission is clear: to help all women thrive in midlife, giving them access to the health care they deserve. Because we believe midlife isn't the middle at all. It's just the beginning of your second act. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
This podcast is supported by Talkspace.
When my husband came home from his military deployment, readjusting was hard for all of us. Thankfully, I found Talkspace.
Talkspace provides professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatric providers online. Military members, veterans, and their dependents ages 13 and older can get fast access to providers, all from the privacy of their computers or smartphones.
I just answered a few questions online, and Talkspace matched me with a therapist. We meet when it's convenient for me, and I can message her anytime. It was so easy to set up, and they accept TRICARE. Therapy was going so well, my husband and I started seeing a couples therapist through Talkspace, too.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, including TRICARE. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com/military. Go to Talkspace.com/military to get started today. That's Talkspace.com/military.
Home of Indiana University, rock quarries, cornfields, enchanted woods, and injury lawyer Ken Nunn, Bloomington is a town that has a term for its ability to lure one-time residents back: the bloomerang. There's something weirdly magical going on here, and college town nobodies Josh Bennett and Chris Coopersmith are going to get to the bottom of this place by listening to stories and riding every possible tangent along the way.
This week, for some reason, just kicked my ass just from day to night.
Dude,
and I was
me
like,
too.
Did it?
Maybe, yeah, every fucking day of it.
Dude. I mean, maybe it's the time of year. I don't know if it's like the time of year is doing something or whatever, or if it's just life stuff.
I think for me personally, I have like combination of stuff, like work stuff, life stuff. Yeah. It's just a fucking combo that kind of hit its head or something.
Same, dude. I mean, and it wasn't even like, there's nothing particularly actually bad going on. It's just like, like Asa is hitting that point in his life where now he's in like organized sports, like the kind of organized sports that means I'm like driving to Bedford, North Lawrence on a school night, to go watch him run cross country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just like stuff like that, and just all just same with you, same what you're saying. It's just like life and work. I took a shower. I slept for 11 hours last night.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. I got up. I know. I'm sorry.
God,
I'm sorry.
Fuck you.
Sorry, I should have thought about
this meeting is over.
Company. Really should have thought about present company.
This meeting is over, and I'm never speaking to you again. I'm never asking how your mom's doing ever again.
Oh, I don't believe that at all.
I was telling my work folks, I think I told you this, but if I won the lottery, I wouldn't quit my job. I would just, every morning, I would park a chair where everybody comes in and tell them every single day, like, I'm rich because I won the lottery.
Right.
and sit there. So that's what they would have to see every single morning until they fired me. Enjoy your day today. I'm rich. I won the lottery.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to let them know that I did and they didn't.
So you seem better than you've seemed for a while. Or are you just faking it?
No, I'm just like I just peak in the morning, man. This is
you
my
peak
time.
in the morning. Okay.
Yeah. I went to the gym. I just got back, so I'm like,
oh, nice.
Kind of feeling good.
Orange Theory or to the gym?
Orange Theory. Yeah.
Do you think we should like record just a little thing that's like, hey, like
our outros are probably relatively short and relatively serious because it's been kind of it would be great to just acknowledge that we lost our friend.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And it's played a huge role on our sense of humor and our ability to kind of function this month. It's just fucked it all up.
I mean, I think that can we just talk about it?
Yeah.
Because I would just say, I mean, I almost think that should be the intro, because I think it deserves to be the intro. I mean, we just lost a friend, who you were particularly really close to, Bob.
Yeah.
And just in general, I mean, I just think I've been noticing that, like, hey, we're not doing a podcast when we're 25. Like
right.
We're at a different phase of our lives, and I don't think either of us particularly want to make a podcast that's just like called The Bears of Bad News. But right. Like we are at an age where, like, both of our moms are like having like mental or physical problems, and like our friends are dying and shit, and like we want to talk about it because that's where we're at.
There are more. We're at the age where there are more funerals than there are weddings.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah.
I mean, like this month, I've just been like, I've been feeling it, and I have a hard time like kind of acknowledging it to myself, like what's wrong.
Yeah.
So like I'll be at like work and things are not going as great, or I'll be walking and things don't feel as great, or it's just like there's like a somewhat of a cloud there, and then occasionally I have to remind myself, it's like, yeah, it's because my buddy died, and that kind of like is a good reminder that that it's okay to have a fucked up month,
I'm so sorry, man. My heart has just been broken for you, and honest to God, man, I've just been like, because I love Bob as like a dude who is in and out of my life at different times. I played in a band with him for a hot minute and everything, but like This is like, it didn't really hit me until we were at the nursing home, like that. Like, this is one of your dudes. This is one of your fucking dudes, man.
Yeah. It's that it's gonna be rough. You hear about it's gonna be rough, but obviously when you see it, it's still a shock. And he did a good job of kind of not wanting people to, I think he didn't want people to worry about him or talk to him about it, because he's, he's always talking, he's always sending these uplifting things, and he even sent us that really sweet text message about this podcast.
Yeah.
I had no idea how bad he was when he sent that.
Oh man.
But yeah, like, not to get too into the weeds about it, but I think it's important that we at least acknowledge that we lost a buddy, and it can kind of fuck the system up a little bit. Yeah. Well, I wasn't planning on getting all
no, I know,
that.
dude. But it's true. I mean, that's the thing. I know you well enough to know that you're hurting. You know what I mean? Like, I just know you well enough I can tell that, like, you're, in
a little bit off,
and just like, you're just I think part of what I noticed with you is, which is just not that abnormal, is that you like disappear a little bit, like just you in not just you disappear a little bit, which is of course makes total sense,
Yeah. All right, so we got to talk. We got to talk about Megan MacDonald.
Let's do it. One thing that comes up in the podcast a lot. Well, okay, so Megan MacDonald is she's just this person about town, and she, I've actually I've never, well, I consider her a friend, but we haven't sat down and talked, talked very much.
Yeah.
I've just always kind of known her as a presence in Bloomington because, quite honestly, she is, as I think you say in our interview, like one of the best local Facebookers. Like, just she's good at it because it's always just fucking funny and weird.
She makes it a happy place. Like, if you just stick with her social media, you're gonna end the day happier.
Right. I mean, I remember for a long time she was like, some of them are like one-time events, but sometimes are like ongoing narratives. Like, she was nursing along this. I think it was either the dock plant or a mullein plant. Those big, tall.
Yeah.
There are these amazing weeds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
They're tough. I can't remember if it's dock or mullein, but they're tall and they're tough and they grow at railroad tracks and shit. And there was one growing like out of like a little crack in the curb or something next to the Monroe County History Center. Mm-hmm. And she named it and she was friends with it and she posted about it all the time. And then I think at some point it got like knocked down. Anyway, it's shit like that, That's but awesome. Also you, I had forgotten that you also, I knew you then when you were like interning at the History Center. So you share that common experience, right?
Yeah. So she interned at the History Center prior to me.
Okay.
And then when I
went through SLIS, through library sciences.
Through library sciences, School of Library and Information Science at the time. And I would see her name on things. And then she worked at IU at the time.
Yeah.
And then but we also lived across the street from each other. And then I worked at IU and we both were at the same library meetings talking about finding aids and stuff like that. And then she got a job at the History Center. And and then we talk about that in the podcast, but I should mention it again that she was such a huge help. Like I was having like a work panic attack because I got promoted to this job of being the archivist, but I had to create the archive. Like it didn't exist before I was there, and I was the only one that could do it. And so like I was having a full-on panic attack, and I met with her and we went and had coffee. And when I left that, I just felt so much better. She just like talked me, basically told me stuff that I kind of reminded me of stuff that I already knew. But she just made it, just being around her and her talking to me made it seem like it was, oh, this isn't the end of the world. Which is how awesome. I approached it, as getting a job, because I tend to fall into the what is it called when you don't feel like you can do your job?
Oh, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. I tend to fall into that camp sometimes.
I wasn't sure if that was a black hole of despair.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I did not know that she had bailed you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she totally bailed me out. And there's another thing that I need to plug that she and I share.
Okay.
We both have the same childhood hero, and that's Pee Wee Herman.
That's amazing.
We didn't talk about that. I meant to bring this up to her, but I follow Pee Wee Herman on social media.
Yeah.
Every single time I'm getting ready to like something that, like give it some love, I see she's already been there, has already liked it. And when he died, she said something like, I was thinking to myself, like, that's my childhood hero.
Oh man.
And I looked at her thing and she was like, my childhood hero has died. So
no shit.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. Yeah. What was also equally fun of loving Pee Wee Herman?
What?
Is my dad like watching me love Pee Wee Herman. Like he
hated it.
He doesn't. He did not think Pee Wee Herman was funny at fucking all.
I could totally believe that from what you said.
Yeah, I could tell that he was just like, I like my son a little bit less because
I was gonna say, yeah, he's like, where have I gone wrong?
like,
just
he was probably like
his frame of reference.
Yeah, he was probably just like, I'm gonna focus on on Michael.
Michael,
brother.
right? Exactly.
This he's done. He's got a mullet. He listens to Motley Crue.
Yeah.
He walks around through the house talking like Pee Wee Herman. I'm done with him.
Right.
He is no longer invited to Kings Island.
The other thing I just learned about Megan post interview,
What's that?
Which is a reason enough that we should have her on again at some point, is that Matt Lynch told me, our mutual friend, that Matt told me that she's the best at imitating puking sounds of anybody that he knows.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're going to have her on just for that.
Should we? This seems like such a perfect moment to bring her on, because it's like at the beginning of the speech where you're introducing the speaker and you're like, they've won 3 Pulitzer Prizes.
Yeah.
They were honored by 2 American presidents. I'm
right.
honored to introduce Megan MacDonald, whose hero is Pee Wee Herman and who is the best at making puking sounds.
Let's get her on.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Josh.
Hi there.
Super excited to have you on. You're I think you're an influencer in Bloomington.
Absolutely.
Don't know if you know what that term means.
Well, I was trying to decide, because you loom large in this town.
I suppose. I just do my thing.
I know you do your thing. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, but you've been doing your thing here for such a long time that
and I'm going to die here.
Yeah, I know. We all are. We all are.
Just accept our fate.
Exactly.
We're
definitely. This is definitely like a version of the Truman Show, I think.
You definitely make social media a happy place for me.
Right.
Like, you're my favorite one on there.
Well, happy to help.
What do you want to talk about?
I can talk about the first time I met both of you guys. I think I have remembered that.
At different times. You have both stories in your mind.
I will start with Josh because I have a photo for the one with Chris, because I think he's the one in this photo with me. But Josh and I lived across the street from each other on Dodds.
What?
But I didn't know him when I moved in.
Yeah.
And I remember Brian and Una and Kelly and Jonathan were taking the girls out for trick-or-treating. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get them king-size candy bars. How many kids are in the group? And then they're like, oh, well, there's Josh and Grace. And I was like, I don't know them. And they're like, Josh lives across the street from you. So I think when you guys came trick-or-treating to my house that night and I gave out king-size candy bars and PBRs to the adults.
Amazing.
I think that's when I met Josh.
I totally remember that. That was the best. Yeah, because everybody scored. Like, she got the beers for the adults.
Yeah.
And candy.
It was only for
kids.
this group. I was not doing it for all the kids. Yeah, I was like, VIPs only.
Yeah.
So that's the first time
awesome.
I think I met Josh.
That is such a great memory.
Yeah, I totally remember that.
Yeah.
And so confirm with me, Chris, if this is a photo of you. Is that you with Dave Tornio?
That is definitely me.
You got to send that.
Yeah, I will, but who's the guy in between?
Matt. He lived in the house.
Matt Terracini?
Yeah, he used to have dance parties at his house. Like, that's,
God.
yeah.
Look at you. Oh my God.
We're little babies.
That's unbelievable.
So this is rock and roll prom, maybe 2007.
Okay.
And my friend Crystal and I were in line to get a photo, and Dave was behind us. And Dave was like, hey, ladies, because we knew him. And he's like, let's get a photo. These are my friends, Matt and Chris. And I remember, not knowing you guys and getting this photo. I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
And you still have
But I was like, wait a second. I think that's Chris.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
So that's the first time I met Chris.
That's amazing.
Awesome. We'll include that.
Yeah. So that was what, now 16, 17 years ago?
Just about.
Yeah.
I moved here in 2005, and it was like, for sure, I'm going to be gone in 2007 when I wrap up grad school.
Really?
And look at me now.
Look at you now. I know. It's so weird to me. You've only been... Because you seem like you were here since Bloomington wrote its charter.
Actually... in 1818, I actually have this record, so...
It was 1818?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I was not friends with anyone really in my program. I was like, wow, librarians are nerds.
Okay.
I was like, all the stereotypes are ringing true. And I found like 3 people. I was like, those 3. And then we kind of like immediately stopped doing anything with the library program and kind of ventured out into the world.
I could imagine if I got in a library program, there were just a bunch of people like Josh, I would be like, I got to find somebody else because I don't want to be around these nerds like this.
But then like after I was done with the program, every cool person started into the program.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, where were you guys? Yeah, it's like, where were you guys
hip.
when I was there?
Yeah, you were a trailblazer.
I must have been.
The way I got into library science is I was literally like just stressed out about my job, case management job.
Yeah.
And
that would do it. Yeah.
Case management for like chronically ill,
homeless, mentally ill, homeless adults. Yeah.
Oh, they're homeless as well.
Yeah. And then we had like 2 years to get them benefits and insurance and social security and housing. We had to get all that. We had to provide them independence within 2 years. That was our funding source. It was really rewarding for several years, but it got to a point where it was the days of pagers, and I would come home with my pager and just sit it on my coffee table and just look at it because I knew that it was gonna like buzz every 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, those things for some reason, even just in my memory of having a pager when I was a caseworker, it feels somehow just worse than a phone. I don't know why, but it's just because because nothing fun. Maybe that's why. Because for the phone, there's fun stuff you can do with the phone. Yeah. The pager, all it represents is you're gonna have to get up in the middle of the fucking night and go deal with some bullshit. Yeah,
it's so worse because to me, it's like every time that pager went off, it was like the person who paged me has done their job. Now the responsibility of the next action is all on me.
Did you ever have a pager?
No, I was of the. Why would I need a pager?
Well, you might have spilled weed to the water polo people.
Yeah. No, in high school, people had pagers because, I grew up in an era before cell phones.
Yeah.
So people had pagers, and I was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And like your friend, like, a lot of my friends had them, and someone would like page them 911. They're like, we have to get to a payphone and call them. And they're like, can you pick me up some Taco Bell before you come over? Just like, there's a party at this house. Yeah. But it's always, it just seemed so ridiculous. Yeah.
Do they still make pagers?
I don't know. But we should get some.
We should.
We should. Three of us should get pagers.
We should. I agree.
See if we can get something going. All right. So I interrupt. So you were talking about how you became a librarian.
Oh, I think when Brian Winterman just came by, and I was probably organizing my records, like in a specific way, or my vinyl records.
Party
and
girl
he was
style.
just like, he was just like, you should be a librarian, dude. and then I think that fall I took a class and it was all over from there.
So he just recognized that you had this
I think he did
thing.
Yeah. I think he did.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Man, I believed you.
Yeah, the librarians, we have like a secret handshake and all that. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, it just occurred to me that you all have. I mean, you're both you have a connection. You and Josh, or you in similar. Yeah,
and
orbit.
we've talked. I remember when you were at the media school in some other capacity, and you were kind of getting transitioned into archives, and you were like, Megan, tell me what this is. Talk me through some of this stuff.
Yeah, I had to started the archive, and I got the job, and then I had a panic. I had to freak out, all the things I had to do, and I begged Megan to meet with me and just kind of talk me down.
Calm him down.
Okay.
And she absolutely did. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah. So what's it like working at the History Center? Just because you post about it on Facebook all the time, and it's just like, it seems like a free-for-all.
It is. I always describe it as Parks and Rec meets Portlandia that takes place in a nursing home.
All right.
People will be like, describe the day-to-day job for you. I'm like, I literally cannot, because every day is weirder than the next.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it keeps things interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And
we can have fun field trips because of it. We can kind of find it. I don't know. I'm the county genealogist is my official.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't get paid an additional rate for that, but there's an Indiana Genealogy Society, and I'm the representative from Monroe County. Genealogy is not my passion. It's just my job. And then I'm also the librarian there. But yeah, because of that, it's I'm I feel it's my duty to go to all the ribbon cuttings in town at Peach Cobbler Factory and
that's
all
right.
that.
You're at the
But we're involved. Like the History Center is involved with all the meetings for like Downtown Bloomington Inc. or just all these things. So, like we're always kind of like in the know, and it's like, and so we get all these opportunities to like go to Master Rental for their ribbon cutting ceremony. And
now, what's the connection there?
We're just like Chamber of Commerce members.
Okay,
yeah. But then I'm always like getting information. I always am like, it's a fact finding mission for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get coffee every single day. I walk down to Hopscotch to get coffee, and I always tell my boss I am working the whole time, and he has walked with me to get coffee, and he's like, you really are. Because that person just asked if you have these like records there. This person said, hey, I need to come in sometime and do research on my house, things like that. So
that's kind of a little bit the Portlandia part of the job.
Yeah.
I mean, walking down the Beeline Trail to get your coffee at Hopscotch and having people ask you like questions. It sounds like a little musical too. It could be a musical.
Or like a Richard Scarry Busy Town.
Oh, totally, Richard Scarry.
Like when I get a honk and a wave from UPS and the bookmobile, I'm like, I have made it in society.
Amazing. And you're not even from Indiana.
No.
What are some of your go-to, like, this person walked in and...
Well, this was more of a not a field trip, but we had someone who wanted to donate the contents of his home.
Okay.
And...
Is that a thing?
Yeah. I mean, especially if someone, like, passes away or someone moves into, like, a retirement community, because we also have our History Center garage sale.
Right.
So sometimes people will be like, do you want everything in our house? But this person wanted to just donate everything to the museum. He himself was a librarian, so he understands, like, mission statements and like what our role was, and everything in this house had nothing to do with Monroe County.
Right.
He just was an avid collector.
Yeah.
And he was like, please, can you just come and look at this? I think this is, I'm willing to donate my house and everything in it.
His
if you
house?
keep this as like a research center.
Really?
And we're like, this is not what we're doing. But like my boss was like, I feel like I have to go.
Yeah.
So her and I went out there because she was like, I don't want to go alone, because the guy also, he slept during the day and was active at night. So we had to go first thing in the morning before he would go to sleep. And he collected guitars. He had like thousands of guitars. And then he collected teapots. He had 1,000 teapots. He collected Hershey candy commemorative like metal tins for like the holidays. He had a record room that was very impressive. I was like, you could sell this to like one of the local record stores and like make bank off of this. But he didn't want to break anything up. He had like images he saved from the internet on CDs. So people could like research images on CDs instead of just Googling it. But the weirdest thing, while we were doing this whole thing, there is very much a sex doll sitting on a couch. And my boss got a photo of me like when I saw it. I'm just like looking down. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing here?
Wow.
And at some point he did kind of address it. He's like, oh, I have a Barbie collection. If you're wondering what like Susie is. Like he referred to this doll by like a first name. But
it sound like a Barbie.
No, and it's like we never saw any of the Barbies, and we just kept on walking, and we were just like, "What the fuck is this?"
Right.
So, yeah.
Jesus.
So he called it Susie?
Whatever the name was. I mean, he referred to it as like a person, and not like, "Oh, that's a Barbie doll." He just like, "Oh, that's." Or, I should probably point out, Susie, I collect Barbies also.
Yeah.
And we're just like, I don't know about that, dude.
So how was it resolved? Like, did you?
That is above my pay grade. My boss had my boss had to like politely say no again. Yeah, but I don't know whatever. I kind of like kept an eye out for stuff in the paper or just anything about like that house being for sale, because he said he was going to be moving. But yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah,
it was. He also had like thousands of comics books, and we're like, oh, the Lilly Library would take this. Like they collect, or they might want to take this. Yeah. But he was like, I don't want to break this up. I don't want to sell it.
All this stuff together, and he wants it to stay in the house.
Yeah, as a research
center
for the things he has in the house for people who want to research Hershey candy tins,
including Susie. Including Susie.
Maybe that was going with him to his new house. I don't know. And then we got like not a donation, a gift of thanks. There was a woman in Kentucky who really appreciated the work Gail and Bill Cook had done with historic preservation. Yeah. And she just wanted to send like a thank you gift basket type thing to Gail, just some fan down in Kentucky. And so this woman called Gail's office, and her person was like, maybe just send that to the History Center. I think it'll be better appreciated.
They routed it to you.
Yeah. So this woman, I think she said she was like a baker.
Yeah.
And so we're getting like pastries. So what we get is a box of like Milano cookies from like Pepperidge Farm or something. They have like a fondant square on top with a photo of her on it. Of Gail.
Of Gail.
Yeah. And then a sheet cake. Like you would just go to Kroger, buy a sheet cake. They give you that plastic, cardboardy, thin box.
Yeah.
Just mailed that and that also had her face on it, we think. God. And it came to us, and it was like, I mean, the box was like soaked through with like grease and everything. The cake was like shredded. It was like a squirrel got into the box. No. And we're like, I think that's Gail's face. I don't really know. But it's just like this woman was like allegedly like a baker, but like did not bake anything.
Did not bake it. Yeah.
And then also had no idea how to ship a cake.
Right.
And it was like, there was nothing on it that said like fragile, this side up. It wasn't even in like another box. It just was like the box that you get from like a Kroger bakery and then with like the address on it. Yeah.
Have you interacted with Gail at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is she active in the history?
Not so much anymore, but she used to always come to, the collections and exhibits meetings, and she always is very active in the garage sale.
Is she?
Yeah, we went to her 85th birthday party a few years ago at the country club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's she like?
She loves macaroni and cheese.
Loves macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
We're talking about, so this is, I mean, most people know who Gail and Bill Cook are, right?
I would think.
And like, yeah, just some local billionaires.
Local billionaires,
yeah.
From medical supply.
Yeah, and like Bill passed away, I think, in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so Gail and then her son.
Okay. And he's one of those guys who, I mean, the story I've heard is he literally started like making medical supplies out of his garage.
It's very like, rags to riches type story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did all this historical preservation.
Like a side hustle. They did West Baden was one.
Baden,
yeah.
Right? And the casino.
Yeah.
And good stuff here too, right?
They helped with the courthouse, the history center, a lot of we have a whole list in place. Off the top of my head I can't think of. But yeah, we have a whole exhibit in the museum about all the work that they've done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we were planning like a gala. And she was like, as long as there's macaroni and cheese on the menu.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, because we were like, looking at menu things, and she just kept being like, I just want macaroni and cheese. And I was like, listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. Yeah, I don't want like broiled fish. I want macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese with her face on it.
Yeah.
When I go in the history center, it's kind of a strange vibe. Like it's the lighting is funny a little bit in some of the exhibit areas, but it's all. I mean, I think it's really fascinating. Obviously for me, what's it like for you in that building? I mean, it's just.
Well, I often forget that I work in a Carnegie library.
And, that's what it was.
It was a Carnegie library.
Original Bloomington Carnegie Library.
Yeah, well, before that, there was Central School, which was also then not like that building, but on that property was Central Schools, and then like the Colored School.
Yeah.
And then when they wanted to build a Carnegie Library, the Colored School no longer existed, and Banneker kind of opened up.
Okay. So Central School was not a segregated, or it probably was segregated, but but it was
the very early. Like, I always kind of forget about Central School because we have a plaque out front that talks about the Colored School.
Yeah, I've read that.
Yeah. So that early history is a little bit fuzzy, but yeah, there was a school on that property.
Okay.
That when the Carnegie Library came in, they tore it down.
Okay.
But yeah, I often forget that it's a Carnegie Library. I just go in every day and work, but we have people coming in who like geek out about Carnegie Libraries. Like, we're on a tour around Indiana to see all them and all that kind of stuff. People also say it's haunted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I've freaked myself out a few times there for sure, like early on.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an old building that like, things move and everything.
Yeah.
But like, we've had some volunteers in the past or like coworkers in the past who are like, oh, it's definitely haunted. Like there's a boy who rides a bicycle like through this hall. And, but like our cleaning ladies or the cleaning crew won't clean my archives room because they say it's haunted. That's like what I've heard.
Wow. Have they had some experience or they just that they've talked about, or it's just
they work at night by themselves and it makes weird noises.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that building at night by myself.
Yeah. And like even we also just have like mannequins in a lot of like dark rooms sometimes. Like when I'm trying to like turn on the lights in the morning, if I'm the only one there like on a weekend, I'm always like, okay, like gotta remember this. Like I don't want to like think that there's a man in here.
Yeah.
But like there's this is really embarrassing for me personally. There's a book out on haunted Bloomington.
Yes.
And someone came and like interviewed me and was doing research, but then also interviewed me. And what is like written in the book makes it sound like I'm like this huge scaredy cat who's like, it's like Megan MacDonald, research librarian, heard a noise, so therefore thinks it's haunted. I'm like, I was just saying that there's like noises that people hear, like that's all. And it's like completely this like this abridged interview where it's like, she's a wimp.
Do you worry that might have been your 15 minutes of fame?
Yeah, all the time.
It's like, damn it.
I also was like, I don't want this, my old boss, I was like, okay, I don't want this book for sale on our gift shop because it's really embarrassing. She's like, gotcha.
Good.
Our new boss came in and was like, oh my God, did you know there's a book about haunted Bloomington and Megan's in it? I ordered like 100 copies. And so now he jokes around. He's like, we're going to do an author, we're going to do like a book signing and you can sign that section.
Like Scaredy Cat.
Yeah. A random punching like that reminded me of a party I went to a million years ago at Castle Grayskull, a house on Jackson. They had a party where they like slaughtered a goat and cooked it like before the party started, but they didn't really know what they were doing, so the house reeked, as you can imagine. And then this guy saw a white man in dreadlocks and was like, fuck that hippie, and came like running through the dance floor, punched him in the nose and broke his nose. There was blood everywhere. That's when my friends and I were like, okay, time for us to go. And then apparently like an hour later, the dance floor collapsed and we're like, we got out of there just in time.
And this is all at Castle Grayskull?
Yeah.
I've never heard of you. Have you heard of Castle Grayskull?
I have not.
It's on
I can point it out to you.
Where it's on
Jackson and like 4th.
Yeah, Jackson 4th, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't think it is called that anymore. Like all,
Okay.
yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, some of those houses just still have those names that you're like, okay, a family lives there now, but that's forever
Yeah.
going to be House Gone Wiley, or you know, something like that.
Was that another one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, I can't remember it. The only one I can't remember the names. What are some of the other names?
Guilty Pleasures on 2nd and Washington.
Okay.
I lived a few doors down from that one, so that was a frequent stop for
Guilty
me.
Pleasures, yeah.
This is like in like 2005 to 2009.
Right, that was a big name the house time period.
Yeah, and then there was like that whole other era of them too. That like at that point I was like, I'm done going to house shows. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you don't know now.
But like the younger kids who are like, you know, now 35.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
Those young kids.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all had their
exactly.
whole era of houses too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, because we had it. House of Sin.
House of Sin, that's the one I was thinking about.
And of course, the classic was the one across from Dun Meadow.
Oh, the Roach Motel?
Yeah, I mean, that's been the
Oh,
Roach
yeah.
Motel for,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was the Roach Motel when I hit town in 1989.
Yeah, well, they were going to tear down that whole block and put in a museum there.
Yeah.
IU was going to. And I
Yeah.
went to like one planning meeting about that with like the Alliance of Bloomington Museums.
Yeah.
And like the only thing I had to contribute was like, is there going to be a commemorative plaque for the Roach Motel?
Yeah.
And
You
I was
said
like,
that?
yeah, and I was like, I'm serious. Like that's
Why
yeah.
you need a seat at the table, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's important.
Yeah. And they said, they're like, oh yes, we like fully are aware of that, like that house's history.
No shit.
Yeah. But
I
you know,
love
the museum never happened, and whatever's happening at the McCullough School is what that museum became.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a university collections museum type thing.
That's what McCullough is going to be?
That's what it is now. Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
You know what I wish they had saved? Like, I wish they had just lifted up the original chocolate mousse and just set it somewhere.
Yeah.
As a
Get rid of the
historical-
cabin in the history center and put chocolate mousse in there.
You guys have a cabin in there.
Yeah.
That would have been amazing to
Yeah.
put chocolate mousse in there.
People donate stuff to the museum to be like part of the museum that don't necessarily have a place or just not good condition. We got a muskrat pelt
Yeah.
from like the 1850s.
Yeah.
That I think whoever like skinned this muskrat was not a professional in any capacity.
Uh-huh.
And then whoever decided to like frame it also, I mean, it came to us like there were dead bugs in this like framed pelt. There were like holes,
Man.
like patches of fur just missing. It was in the worst shape I've ever seen.
It
for
sounds like the Gail Cook situation.
yeah, but with the muskrat pelt from 1850. Yeah, and so we're like, oh, okay. And like the person was like, I am so proud of this. Like my great-great-great-grandfather killed this on our property in Salt Creek way back in the 1850s with a, you know, and he had a rich history on the back of like the family and all this kind of stuff. And we're like, well, maybe we'll just take the family history and like
Yeah.
kind of toss that.
Yeah.
We got a box mailed to us from Vegas that had a bunch of glass bottles that someone had found in the woods in Morgan Monroe State Park.
Yeah.
So this person like moved to Vegas
Took
with
them with
them,
them.
and then just mailed
Yeah.
them to us. And they were just nondescript glass
Bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're
Trash
like-
them.
Yeah, we're like, cool.
So how often do you get things just mailed to you without like communication?
Regularly.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I sometimes just get something and someone's like, oh, I have these newspapers. I'm just going to mail them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But usually we try to like talk to the people first and encourage them to maybe donate it elsewhere if it's
Right.
not something that like fits, you know, if it's not from Monroe County.
What kind of shit have you learned about Bloomington? I mean, you just kind of know that you...
Well, I just recently found out that Bob Hope used to visit Bloomington all the time and stay in your neighborhood here in someone's house.
Really?
Yeah.
This neighborhood, really?
Yeah. Like, he was friends with someone, and he would come here to do, like, shows at the IU Auditorium and stuff like that, and, like, had a friendship with his family and would always just stay in one of these homes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So just kind of
cool.
weird things like that. I've learned all about the MTV Pink Houses competition to win a free pink house in like 1984 when Mellencamp contest that if you won on MTV, you would win a pink house in Bloomington, and John Mellencamp would play a concert for you and all of your friends.
I remember that contest.
Yeah, and like the first house was like contaminated with PCBs.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So they had to find like another house.
That's so Bloomington.
Yeah. And I don't know if the first house or the second house was on Lake Lemon, but I think one of the houses was like near Lake Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the concert, all the friends were here, and then whoever won it like sold the house like the next day. You know, was someone really gonna like well, who's gonna like relocate? Who's like, oh, I got a free house in Bloomington. It's like, okay, well, that's a fun concert. Now I have to like offload this house.
Right.
Yeah. I was just like, whenever I'm out in Lake Monroe, you know, there's always facts about that. You know, I talk about like how there used to be like cemeteries, and they had to relocate 8 cemeteries, but they only found 7. So maybe there's
is that all true?
Be a cemetery in the lake.
I mean, there's not. Like, I mean, yes and no. Like the missing cemetery was like a family lore that their family like they buried like 5 people on the back of the property, but like experts couldn't find it with like equipment and all this kind of stuff, and like the family was like, this is what we've been told from year to year to year, like we don't know. And so after like due diligence, like the Army Corps of Engineers were like, well, maybe there's not, so let's just continue building this lake. So, and, you know, there's like missing, like when they made the lake and they had to relocate all the cemeteries, they had like a list of names and where they were buried, and there were some people that they couldn't find. So it's like, was it just poor record taking, or are they there? Yeah.
Paynestown was the community that they basically relocated everybody so they could build a lake, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember there was a woman who was like from DNR or something who was doing a little presentation. Just they come out there and do a little presentation.
I bet that was Jill.
And really.
Yeah.
And she
I got a Lake Monroe lady, and it's
you got
Jill.
a Lake Monroe lady. Well, she was talking about, and I thought, oh, this would be interesting to find out about Paynestown. But then they start talking about like dead people under there, and it totally freaked Ace out about Lake Monroe for like a year. But it is kind of haunting. It's just something about the fact that just this whole community was told, okay, you have to move now.
Yeah, I think they had like 10 years, or maybe not quite 10 years, but they had like a big chunk of time. It wasn't just like they're like, hey, 30 days.
Right. It wasn't like eminent domain.
And we have like a bunch of oral histories from those families that got, because it was also like in the 50s when this happened. It wasn't like, you know, so like in the 70s, I think there was a oral history project that they interviewed a bunch of these families that got like relocated. I haven't really listened to them well enough to like know all the details, but you know, it was all like farmland and everything like that. And
is it true that there are some houses that they didn't tear down, that they just...
That is not true.
Okay. Oh, that was always the rumor.
Yeah, everyone's always like, oh God, are we going to touch like a rooftop? It's like, no, you won't.
Yeah.
That's funny. I kind of wanted that to be true.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm sure all the dead bodies and cars that are under there will make up for that.
Yeah. Oh, seriously. Yeah. Well, did you guys see that newspaper article a few weeks ago, and like the story that spread about like a 900-pound snapping turtle that decapitated a man in Lake? It was front page news because it was fake.
What the hell?
But there's a story circulating on social media that like a fisherman found like a decapitated body.
Yeah.
And like experts from Purdue like determined that it was a snapping turtle that bit the head off, and they're like, to do this, the turtle would have to be like 800 pounds or something like that. And like it was being passed around, and like I'm not going to reveal who, but I had one friend who like for a second believed it, and it was like, oh my God, you guys. And she sent it to us, and then like she spent the rest of the day being like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I fell for that. And we're like, oh, we all do stuff like that. But yeah, the next day in the paper, there was a huge article about it being like fake, but that like all these people believed it.
In the Herald Times.
Yeah, front page news.
See, this is the reason why I regret canceling our subscription.
Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of thing that brings joy to my life.
Yeah, I mean, we get that delivered to the History Center, so I'm always like flipping through it. And we did save that turtle story and put it in our Lake Monroe files, because like in 20 years, someone's gonna be like, wasn't there like a crazy snapping turtle killing people? And I'm like, no, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember also like a few years ago, there was a rescue mission out on Lake Monroe in the winter because someone had fallen through the ice. And then they get out there and it was just like a mannequin head in a wig that someone had threw out on the lake.
That's awesome.
The photos from that were great. I think I also saved that for the files. I'm like, this is history.
See, that's the thing is, when you said the snapping turtle thing, I thought that's some crack, like archiving, like you're really on it, like, you know. And then I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. So now you've got the mannequin story and snapping turtle. So in 20 years, people can have a really twisted version because when MacDonald was working there, all she did was put the weird bullshit into the...
But it's also like, we're going to debunk that rumor when someone comes in 20 years and wants to know. So that's why I'm saving it.
I respect that.
Yeah.
The turtle story was recent?
Yeah, that was like 2 months ago. Not even.
Okay. And then the mannequin story was a while ago?
During the pandemic, I remember. I think it was, but they have like the fire department like harnessed in and like scooching over on the ice into the middle of the lake, and maybe it was Susie's head.
Yeah, it would. Susie.
Yeah.
Poor Susie.
I know, she's just getting trashed.
Susie's getting blamed for everything.
No. We need to get her on the podcast.
I have a question. Did you ever have any actual experiences
just like
there?
Weird noise, like just weird noises that could have been anything.
Yeah.
Like I haven't like seen anything. I haven't felt anything. I haven't
I would work there, do my internship there, like on Saturdays mostly, and there would be like almost nobody there. And I would occasionally just freak myself out there for some reason.
Yeah, I can freak myself out all day long anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm so scared right now, actually. I'm hiding it well.
You really are.
I can too, but I always would, like, but I just remember there, like, just be like, I would be working and then I always what if myself, you know, like, what if you heard a kid laughing right now?
Yeah, like,
what if you heard somebody
yeah.
running through the hallway? I did that a lot there.
Well, one of my old coworkers, she said that she was working on a Saturday one time and no one was there. Like, no one was in the building, and it sounded like someone was running, like a cart down the second floor hallway and, like, bashing it into the wall on the far end.
Yeah.
And she said that she just, like, heard that kind of over and over again and just kind of figured it was, like, out in the alley. And I was like, really? Like, through this 4 feet of, like, limestone, you're going to hear someone pushing a cart in the alley? Like, that would have freaked me the fuck out, for sure.
God.
Like, that I would have not been okay with. But, like, just hearing noises,
and
or, like,
what the fuck with a ghost, like, why would they just want to push a cart? You know?
Well, I guess before I got there, they did have people come in, like ghost hunters and all that kind of stuff, because people always, a lot of people know that it's haunted or say it's haunted or believe it's haunted or, all that kind of stuff. And so we had ghost hunters come in and they were like, okay, there was like a few movement things that we tracked that we couldn't quite explain, but like, no, that's kind of it. But then we had like what's the word I'm looking for? A seer or someone who can like speak with the dead, or something.
Like a medium or something.
Yeah, like she did something there, and she said that there's like a dog that runs through the entire block. So like runs through the parking lot, runs to the public library, runs through like the history center, and just like runs back and forth. And and I'm like, well, I'm down with a ghost dog. Like, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem as scary.
No.
Yeah, but we will blame like things that happen on a ghost. We're just like someone like, what happened? Like I lost this thing, and I'm like, the ghost probably moved it.
What are your favorite things in the museum? Artifacts.
We have an 1856 plat map that I think is really cool, so I always kind of pull that out in the library to show people.
So 1818 is when we had our charter.
Yeah.
And then, so this is like 40 years later, roughly. Okay.
And it has like all the names of the people who own all the property.
Yeah.
And it's well before Lake Monroe, and where Lake Monroe is, there's a lot of swampland, but then a lot of like Fairfax, like that community doesn't exist anymore. We just have the Fairfax Marina. But that's on there, and you can see like little grist mills and like little things like that. So just cool to look at. But we have something in the collection that is not Monroe County specific, but we're like, we have to keep this. It is for the state penitentiary up in northern Indiana. I think it was photos of everyone who's been executed there.
Whoa.
With like very, and I guess the person who donated it, her dad was the warden and kind of kept track of this stuff. So it was like photos, and it was like typed like what they were in jail for and when they were executed. And there's like they have a few, and then they're like, oh, the invention of the electric chair. And then like, and this is the first person executed by electric chair in Indiana. And there's like one person from Monroe County. So that's why we're like, we can justify keeping this.
That's
But it is like, and there's like 1 or 2 women in there.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I think like 98% of the murders or of the crimes in there were murder. It wasn't like anything like super scandalous. I mean, scandalous enough, but so that's why it's really cool. But I don't know how we'll ever kind of put that on display or have an exhibit about it, but
it's really interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of the big Bloomington? I mean, I kind of know this, but what are some of the big early Bloomington names then, like the settlers?
Same ones that are here now, or
like
the street names,
people and stuff, or was that later?
A little bit later maybe, but like Rogers, Dunn, Sewards, just very kind of familiar, like all the street names and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, about the Buskirks, Big Dave Van Buskirk?
I don't really know much about that.
He was the second largest man in the Civil War.
The second largest man in the war?
Yeah, there was someone down south who was taller than him.
Okay.
And he named his daughter Gettysburg.
Wow.
Yeah, just really diehard Civil War. Yeah. But him and his brothers all fought in the Civil War. He was actually a prisoner of war. And I think, I can't confirm, I don't quote me on this for sure, but I think some circus was like, hey, you want to be in our freak show?
Because so tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, when he was a prisoner of war, he charmed the people who were, taking care of him, so he was always, well-fed and...
Interesting.
Yeah. Not, in I'm going to charm them to get what I want. It just was, a nice person.
Nice person.
Yeah, and they, took pity on him or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Dave Van Buskirk.
Gosh. When you said circus, I was just reminded that there used to be some circus...
Yeah, the Gentry Circus.
Where Bryant Park was or something? Or where... Or is that... Gentry Circus is in Bloomington.
Yeah. So, the animals, McDowell Gardens, that's kind of where the animals would, winter in that area.
Okay.
And Gentry Farm is kind of where, across from the old hospital, all that stuff's being torn down now, between the Beeline and Rogers, the Gentry Farm was kind of in that area. But yeah, it was a dog and pony show, and then they turned it into, a bigger circus type thing. And I found some articles recently that it was talking about the monkeys that were living in the trees in the courthouse square.
Holy crap.
And they were eating the 18-year cicadas or whatever.
Oh my God.
I found that article when we were having our cicada crisis.
Yeah. and the monkeys were eating them.
Yeah, and the monkeys, because the fire department used to be on the courthouse, and so the monkeys kind of lived at the courthouse, or lived at the firehouse.
Yeah.
And there was a team of monkeys that also were they put a little uniform on them and give them a hose. There's so little information about it, and there's 4 articles, and they all don't seem to be completely fully accurate. Were the monkeys circus monkeys?
Yeah.
Or are the monkeys just leftover circus monkeys? Do the monkeys perform, or do they just live in the fire department? But they live in the fire department, live in the trees on the courthouse square, eating cicadas.
They only come out every 17 years with the cicadas.
Yeah, perhaps 17 years out and not 18. But I talked to the fire department about it too, and they're like, we've heard this before also, and we don't have any better information than what you guys have.
I mean, it's so boring now.
I know. Oh, if there's a monkey story in Monroe County, I will hunt it down.
Oh, you love a monkey story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I remember one time I was riding my bike by Una.
Yes! I was just going to say, remember the chimpanzee in our neighborhood?
What?
Yeah, she said there was a chimpanzee loose in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I saw Jonathan Richardson biking in a grid-like pattern through the neighborhood, and he's like, "We have children. It could rip their children's face off."
That's exactly what they were saying.
Yeah,
they were on a monkey hunt.
If anyone's gonna fuck with us, it's gonna be the Wintermans and the Richardsons. But also, they seemed really serious.
I know.
It was hard to tell.
That would be a great prank.
if they were pranking, well played.
Oh
well
yeah,
done,
absolutely.
Because
they're just sitting up drinking.
15 years later, we are still talking about it.
We need to follow up with them on that, because what I want in a way is just that they were sitting up at night and they were just let's fucking fuck with this neighborhood. Let's tell everybody there's a chimpanzee.
That's a great thing. I might do that in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll play along. When I lived in my old house on Dodds, that was further west, we had a party right after we moved in, and a bunch of our friends were like, "Can we see your basement?" And we're like, "Wow, this is weird." And they're like, "Yep, this used to be a punk house." Or, but they're on the stairs going down, it had something that said duck bitches, so you wouldn't hit your head.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Yes, we know this house." They're like, "This feels familiar."
That's one of the weird things about Bloomington is the longer you're here, and you have these different iterations of your life. It's there'll be these houses where you have such a rich memories of stuff you've done there. But I remember this one time when Tim Clower, he's got this house that's a historic home that was preserved, right?
Yeah, I think they moved the house.
Well,
there.
that's the thing, right? So apparently somebody goes to visit Tim's house, and they're just kind of tripping, and they're just like, not literally, I don't think.
Or maybe they were, no judgment.
That would have been amazing, but they were just like, hey, this is really weird, but this place is exactly like my grandma's house. And he was like, where was your grandma? And then they're like, on second and whatever. And he's like,
same
this
house.
is your grandma's house.
Oh, wow. I've never heard that. Yeah,
but can you imagine? Just,
that's amazing.
Like a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's that.
Yeah, I had that feeling in houses that I go to, even my own on Dodd Street. That basement is like, I have probably thrown up on this floor.
Right, before you moved into this one.
In the 90s.
I have probably thrown up in this one.
Yeah,
I'm sure I left my bass guitar here and had to go find it the next day.
Never.
Yeah, well, I've known the 2 owners after you lived in that house, too.
Yeah.
So I'm quite familiar with that house.
Do you have anything that you want to say before we ask in question? Yeah.
We're cutting that part out.
We're going to cut Chris out saying that's not what we're doing here.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything now, but like it might come to me after the lightning round.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and this, I was thinking bigger picture Bloomington things, but I did Christian Zabriskie. Mm-hmm. Lightning round.
Yeah, what a goddamn tragedy that was.
Yeah.
I kind of think of my time in Bloomington as like before, like BC and like post-Christian. Like it was just such a defining moment. And like he passed away, and like we all were together that night. We all were
with him.
We were trying to get like he didn't answer. His
he
text.
didn't answer his text.
Yeah,
right.
and like, but he also said early in the day he wasn't coming out. So we all went down to see Jonathan play. Or he was DJing at the Root Cellar.
Yeah, and Christian was kind of I didn't know him very well, but he's a funny guy, right?
Oh
He's
yeah,
really funny, and
everyone loved him. Like everyone knew him.
Was he kind of famous in the bars, or just kind of Bloomington guy?
Just Bloomington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And he was in his 30s, maybe.
He had just turned 40.
He had just turned 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so everyone was down at the Root Cellar, and then we get a text. Someone got a text from someone saying that there was an ambulance in front of his house. Mm-hmm. And that's when we kind of like everyone ran out of the Root Cellar, and it was like a record scratch,
Whoa.
And Jonathan just packed up his stuff and
he did actually,
and then we all kind of gathered over there, and he had a heart attack, and it was just like an awful night, but it was also kind of just like this weirdly beautiful moment where just everyone was together, everyone was grieving. Christian's mom was like, "Can I get anyone anything to drink?" And this was just like it just was like this surreal time. And then the weeks afterwards were so surreal, and it was just so beautiful. Like I had so many good friendships now came from when that moment, like when he passed away. And then we all kind of gathered at Smooth's house the next night, and just to kind of just like grieve and be together. And like there were some people who I didn't know we just like knew of, and I just remember we just like ran to each other and hugged, and we're like, we know who we are, And it just kind of like set up a new life after that, like just with these friendships, and just
it
wild.
just gives me chills to hear that. Cause it just, I think we all know that feeling, like I know Josh, you we've just been, but you particularly have just been through that with a friend of ours who just passed away, and but it's just you described it. I think you were describing a specific moment, but it has a thing that applies to where when you lose somebody like that and you all pull around it, and there's just, it is kind of beautiful, like with everybody there, and you all know that you love that person, and therefore you are going to love those people too. And,
then his mom was like, "Oh, we have to deal with his recycling. Can someone come over like on Monday to deal with his recycling?" And 50 people showed up.
Right.
And we all just sat there and cried and hugged and laughed again for hours. And it was like that every night. It's like then you go to the Bishop, and everyone was gathering there, and it was the same thing over and over again. And this is my own personal opinion, which I'm sure the community did not really feel, but I felt that at that point we were the coolest people in town. We just kind of did our own thing. Yeah. We just kind of there was this mob of people just kind of blazed a trail through town, and then that happened, and so it was
kind of an end of an era feeling.
No, not really, but I remember going to the grocery store, Kroger, and people the baggers were "Oh, I know you were friends with Christian." People just recognized that scene. I was getting messages from people who barely knew me or barely knew him, and they were just kind of pouring their hearts out about just that surreal, tragic, but very, very beautiful things came out of it.
Yeah.
Did you know him, Josh?
I just knew I knew of him, and we weren't good friends or even friends. We were just. He just lived right down,
neighbors,
a couple houses down.
But you guys were neighbors.
Yeah. It was just, we were more hey, how's it going? kind of.
And the bars would close, and we'd always just go back to Christian's house. Like someone would stop to get a big bottle of like chicken wine, the wine that had like the chicken on it.
Oh, yeah.
And like Triscuits and hummus, and we'd all go back to his house, and everyone would continue just like partying hard.
Yeah.
And then I'd cross the street and go home, and I'd wake up the next morning, and I'd be like, how did I get here? And I'd look out the window, I'm like, my shoes are on Christian's lawn. Okay, I gotta go retrieve my shoes. And it just would be like that. What happened once we got, and then I'd go over to my house, his house to get my shoes, and like Lori Canada would be like passed out there, and like someone else would be sleeping there, and I'd be like, what happened?
Oh man.
Yeah, so like we like those like after bar hangouts at Christian's house were so great.
There's a sculpture in his, would you call it a sculpture in his honor on the Beeline?
Yeah, and that's the house right across from it is his old childhood home.
Okay, and that's sort of
right by Hopscotch, like to Dodds and the Beeline.
Just sort of, is it just south? It's
just north of Hopscotch.
It's north of Hopscotch, yes. Because I know there's the sculpture in his honor, and then there was
Evans.
Is the Evan one.
But that got taken down for like repair.
They moved it.
They moved it. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know where it is now.
Were you at the?
I think they moved it further north on the Beeline.
Did they?
Okay.
I
Were
believe.
you at the thing when they were unveiling the Evan one and
Yes.
Simon played Eruption? Like the Mayor Hamilton was there and Simon Moore played Eruption by Van Halen on his guitar, like in honor of Evan.
I also just thought it would be a good idea to walk my dog there to that thing, and he was in the background. He's like. Like he's like
your dog was?
Yeah, the entire
I was
time.
like, was that Simon?
I know. I thought he was talking about Simon.
Yeah. No, Bert was just singing along with
Was
Simon.
he really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But yeah, that was like another tragedy,
Oh,
obviously.
God,
And like
yeah.
I had just like gotten to know Evan barely.
Had you?
But like I was friends with like Brad and Alex and everyone else.
Yeah,
so I went to like the Bluebird for his memorial, and like that's my first time seeing so many of those bands.
Right.
But like first time I met like Dave Koons, I think was there, and just like seeing all those friends mourning was beautiful and tragic. And just, I was on the periphery of that, and it's like, oh cool, I get to do it again now with Christian. And there's been so many people who kind of have that's happened to.
The way you described it is really well said, because to me, like when that happens, it's it's devastating and it's heartbreaking and it's shocking, but it also like, at least briefly for a couple of weeks or so, it like quiets down all this outside noise.
Yeah.
And then it just really zones you in on I don't know, the people that you know well and love, and then the people that you kind of know, you love, that you realize you love them too, and
It's the closest thing to church that I have experienced. It's really just.
Yeah.
And, I say it's tragic and beautiful. Other people might not feel that way.
Yeah. That it's beautiful.
They'd be like, why is Megan saying it was beautiful? It was fucking awful. I'm like, well, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But like so it's like, that was my experience. And
I
other
certainly
friends might feel differently, and that's fine,
Yeah.
I don't want to speak on behalf of every.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time one of those larger than life people, goes that sort of a spoke of, or a hub of a sort of a social community, and a lot of them are musicians that I've known, but where it just, I don't know, I liked what you said, Josh, but it also just for me, it's like it makes me go, okay, I need to like not have a narrative where I'm like, I'm getting old, I'm just going to quit doing these things. It's like, no, I'm going to fucking do them for the people who can't. Like, I'm going to go see shows. I'm going to play music, for those people that I love who can't do it, but they inspired me when they were doing it,
Right.
Yeah.
It's totally true.
Yeah, like when Christian passed away, I was like, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to tell my friends I love them all the time. And I'm going to hug them. And I used to always be like, oh, I hate hugs. But now
really?
It's like, I will hug anyone, but I will tell all my friends I love you.
Yeah.
Like, every time we leave, we'll leave the bishop. It's like, bye, I love you guys. It's just like,
Awesome.
So it's like I'm gonna tell my friends all the time that I love them.
When you went to grad school here and you thought that you were just going to go to grad school here and then you're going to be out of here, and now you said that you're going to die here.
Yeah, I mean, not fully proud of that, but
it makes me really happy to
just
hear
accepted
It
my
really
fate.
does. But yeah,
misery loves company.
yeah. Do you remember, like, was it a gradual feeling, or did you was it an instant love?
It was definitely gradual. But like by the time I graduated grad school, I had made a lot of friends who weren't in my program. They were in other programs, but I had started to make friends with people in the community who were like, oh, I'm just here. I live here. And then, I had a part-time job doing archival work for the Liberian collections. And I was like, well, let's ride this out for a while. Then it's like, oh, my friends just bought houses here. My friends are having kids now. Oh, my friends are opening businesses.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I actually have a whole community that's not the transient IU community.
Right.
And I came from Ann
Right.
Arbor, so it's like a Big Ten college town. There's a lot of similarities. And I was
Right.
like, it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Herman Wells.
Apparently he has huge testicles.
Yeah, why do you know that?
Because I went to well,
A TED Talk?
no, I went to a history club.
Testicle talk.
Testicle Talk.
I went to a history club lunch at the American Legion.
I was not expecting that's where you're going to find this out.
Right?
Yeah.
And they mentioned that he had incredibly large testicles. They think maybe historians think that maybe he was impotent.
Oh.
And it may have been because of his testicle
Large
size.
testicles? Okay.
Yeah, but he also he never had kids. He
Okay, so I
never
thought
was
he was
in a
maybe
relationship.
homosexual.
That's another rumor.
Yeah.
Because it's he never had a female partner, never had kids. But yeah, somehow it was known that he had large testicles.
That's so strange.
He used to dress like Santa Claus and visit all the buildings.
I think we have some photos of that. Or I've seen photos of that.
Yeah.
See, and I would have loved to hear that had I not just heard that he had large testicles, because that screws up the.
I was just
Santa
thinking,
Claus
if he's like Santa Claus and he has huge testicles, he's got to sit a particular way,
Yeah. He would not be able to get a job as a Santa Claus now.
No.
But yeah, he has done a lot of good for IU. He was the one who's responsible for getting that arts section. He wanted to have the Lilly Library and the IU Auditorium and the Art Museum and the Art School kind of all there to be this is a center of campus, this is a center of learning, very much into liberal arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was also really forward thinking on a natural preservation of the woods and the arboretum. I think a lot of that had to do with him.
Yeah, I know there's an endowment in his name for maintaining all the flowers on campus.
Is there?
Yeah. But he also George Taliaferro.
The football, he was the IU football black IU football player,
and so he was kind of played a big part in him being accepted. And he would eat. I think he ate lunch at the Gables with him to kind of be this black man is going to be eating in your restaurant. You're going to have to deal with it. I'm the IU president. Are you going to tell me I can't eat here with my guests? Something similar to that.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
that is badass.
How about Gables?
It was the Book Nook before that, right?
And it was on Indiana, right?
Yeah, and that's where Hobie Carmichael used to play at the Book Nook, and then the Gables. And Gables is where George Taliaferro did his thing, and there's a plaque I think out in front that talks about desegregation and stuff like that. So that's kind of all I know off the top of my head.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good, man. I could sit here because I know you have this rich,
but yeah, it's don't quote me for sure on some of these details.
Yeah. We say so much shit that's wrong.
Yeah.
We were talking about that last time where it's just we're just talking.
Yeah, you're that sounds right.
Well, it's kind of hard because you're live and you're just saying stuff, and I've just said the wrong way off on somebody's age or just stories where I'm just riffing.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to know the truth.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah.
This has been so great.
Yeah, I've had a great time. We've talked for hours and hours.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
we've been wanting to try to get you on here forever.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you're kind of an influencer in Bloomington.
That's me.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
thanks
being
for
here.
having me.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear the final product.
Yeah.
And see what gets edited out and what
Yeah, we were
stays.
definitay leaving the story that you didn't want on here because of your parents.
In
Sorry.
fact, that might be the only story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
All right. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You guys too.
Thank you, Megan.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. What if we text her
Mm-hmm.
and tell her to send us a recording of her making the puking sound,
I really like that.
and then the outro will just be that?
Okay. Let's do that. So let's do a 60-second outro just in case she won't do that.
Okay.
And then that's great.
And
I
if
love
she
that
does
so much.
do it, we'll even include us talking about it right now.
Okay. That's awesome. That's really good. That's really good.
All right.
That's really, really good.
Well, Megan MacDonald.
Yep. I love her.
Yeah. We're going to have her back.
Yeah.
I can tell that's not going to be the only episode with her.
No. So on that note,
All right.
we'll see everybody in November.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, right. We'll see you in November.
November 1st.
November 1st. Exactly. Because that's the kind of guys that we are.
Maybe that'll be
deadline guys.
Maybe that'll be a haunted episode.
Oh man,
since it's the day after.
I like
Halloween.
that.
Yeah, or maybe it'll be a post Halloween, or maybe it'll be a pre-Thanksgiving episode.
Would you look at that?
Would you take a look at that?
Just look at it.
All right, dude.
Yeah, man. All right, brother.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bloomington Stories. If you've got any hot leads for guests or topics, please send them our way at bloomingtonstoriespod@gmail.com. And come back and check out our guests on the next episode of Bloomington Stories.
Bloomington Stories is a podcast produced by Chris Coopersmith and Josh Bennett, with new episodes released on the first of each month. Please consider subscribing, rating, reviewing, and following. Please see our show notes for more information on our guests.
Hey guys, have you heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site where they ship the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants across the country, anywhere, nationwide. I've never found a more perfect gift than food. Goldbelly ships Chicago deep dish pizza, New York bagels, Maine lobster rolls, and even Ina Garden's famous cakes. So, if you're looking for a gift for the food lover in your life, head to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's goldbelly.com, promo code GIFT.
You're a pro. You can make a 5-ton HVAC condenser purr like a sleeping kitten. Weeds cower at your mere presence. The only thing cleaner than your clients' homes is your reputation. So why is a pro like you still stuck in the endless cycle of paperwork, scheduling, spreadsheets, and chasing invoices? Automate your office and get back to what you love with Jobber, the all-in-one tool that fits your entire office in your back pocket. Start your free trial today at jobber.com.